Back in the day, Peppa Pig had all the kids' attention. But that changed when a big new competitor came onto the scene, Bluey. Now the two shows are battling for kids' hearts. Both cartoons are very similar and have tons of fans, but the big question is, which one is better? Family. One of the biggest similarities between Bluey and Peppa Pig is their main families. Both shows center around little girls who are the stars, their parents, and a younger sibling. Peppa's little brother is George and Bluey's is Bingo. Both families are super fun and wholesome, with parents who regularly play with their kids and help them grow. Normally that would mean a tie between the two shows in this category, but not anymore. That's because the Pig family just got a brand new member, Evie. Her birth came with a huge marketing push and was a groundbreaking addition to Peppa's world. Maybe one day the Healers will welcome a new baby too, especially since Chili has already said she's open to that idea. But until that day comes, Peppa takes the lead for having a bigger family and bringing in more new developments right now. But this battle is just getting started. Curious to find out which show wins in the end? Then get comfy and ride this wave with us, Time. Even though we're talking about two pretty similar shows, it's the small details that set them apart. And one of those details is how time works in their universe. Peppa Pig has been on the air for over 20 years, but time doesn't really move. Even though they've celebrated lots of Christmases, Peppa and the rest of the characters age very slowly. For example, Peppa and George have only had one birthday since the show began. With Bluey, it's a whole different story. Time passes, and it matters from one episode to the next. Some things that happened in earlier stories even changed the setting for future episodes, like when Bluey met Jean-Luc and liked him so much that a drawing of the two of them later appeared on the wall of her house. In other words, everything that happens in Bluey has meaning. We've got to give a point to the Australian pup for this extra attention to detail. Ease of understanding. Since we're talking about two kids shows, there's one question we absolutely have to ask. Which one is easier for young kids to understand? Really young children can have a hard time focusing, which is why they need shows that are simple enough for them to follow and enjoy while still learning something. And right off the bat, Peppa Pig wins this one. The show is made for an even younger audience than Bluey, and its stories are way easier to follow because of their simplicity. And if anything ever seems unclear, the narrator will pop in and help explain exactly what's going on. Bluey is still understandable for kids, but it leaves some things implied, and certain moments are really only going to click for parents watching along. Main characters. Now it's time to talk about the stars of their shows. Peppa and Bluey, two energetic little girls who love to play, though they can be a bit bossy sometimes. As we've seen, they have a lot in common and would probably be great friends if they ever met. But one of them is more well-developed than the other. Bluey messes up a lot, like when she ditched Bingo to play alone with Judo. But she always learns from her mistakes and never repeats them, because the whole point of the show is watching her grow. Peppa also messes up a lot, but she rarely seems to learn anything from it. She's more static, and the show doesn't focus on showing her growth or change. Probably because you can't have endless episodes if your character evolves too much. So, Bluey takes the win on this one. Younger siblings. Now let's talk about their younger siblings, George and Bingo, who are actually pretty different. George, the dino-obsessed piglet, is a lot younger and constantly causing chaos. Bingo, on the other hand, is full of personality and curiosity, but not nearly as wild. Plus, Bluey's little sister has way more of her own traits. George is basically defined by his love for dinosaurs and has even less depth than his older sister. Who knows, maybe that'll change now that he has to help take care of baby Evie, right? But for now, Bluey wins this round too. Dads. Daddy Pig and Bandit are a great example of how a similar character can become much better with more attention and development. They're basically the same guy. Funny, chubby dads, but Bandit comes out ahead. He acts like a real adult. He loses his patience with his daughter's games, gets tired, makes mistakes, and still loves his girls and has fun with them. Meanwhile, poor Daddy Pig is mostly just there to be the butt of the joke for being silly and pudgy. Once again, point for Bluey. Moms. The moms in both shows are similar too. They're both way more level-headed than their dads, but Chili has a lot more personality. Mummy Pig is great at what she does, but we don't really know much about what she thinks or feels. In contrast, Bluey gives us a lot of depth with Chili. We learn in one episode that she's gone through a miscarriage, and there's even a flashback episode where she blames herself for Bluey taking a long time to learn how to walk. So, which show do you like more? Drop a comment down below with #Bluey or #Peppa and let us know.